May 7th, 2025. Pakistan's air defense radars lit up. Dozens of Indian missiles crossing the border simultaneously. What happened next, in the next 96 hours, would become the most intense air and missile war between two nuclear-armed states in modern history. This is Operation Sindoor, and this is the full story. It started with blood. April 22nd, 2025. Pahalgam, Indian-administered Kashmir. Gunmen opened fire on tourists in one of the most visited valleys in the region. 26 people killed, mostly civilians, mostly Hindu pilgrims. India blamed Pakistan immediately. Pakistan denied involvement and called for an independent investigation. But in New Delhi, the political pressure was enormous. Prime Minister Modi faced a nation demanding a response. The Indian military was given orders to prepare. India's plan was called Operation Sindoor, named after the red powder married Hindu women wear. A signal, a message. This was personal. The targets were not Pakistani military bases. India was careful, deliberately careful, to aim at what it called terrorist infrastructure. 9 sites across Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Bahawalpur, Muridke, Muzaffarabad, Kotli, and others. Precision strikes, cruise missiles, loitering munitions. India wanted to hit hard, but not hard enough to trigger a full war. That was the calculation. They were wrong. Pakistan's military did not hesitate. Within hours, Pakistani air defenses had tracked the incoming missiles. Several were intercepted, but some got through. And now Pakistan had to decide, respond or absorb. The answer came fast. Pakistan launched Operation Bunyan ul Marsoos, translated, Wall of Lead. Pakistani jets crossed into Indian airspace. Pakistani missiles targeted Indian military radar installations and air bases. And then, something the world had not seen in decades happened. A Pakistani F-16 and a Rafale jet engaged in a beyond visual range dogfight. The outcome, contested to this day, became the biggest air combat story of 2025. Let's talk about what actually happened in the skies. India deployed its Rafale jets, France's most advanced export fighter. Pakistan responded with its JF-17 Thunder and F-16 Block 52S. The critical weapon was the PL-15, a Chinese-made long-range air-to-air missile. Pakistan had quietly equipped its JF-17s with PL-15s months before the conflict. India's pilots, trained for beyond visual range combat, found themselves facing a missile they had not fully planned for. 3 Indian aircraft were confirmed downed. Pakistan lost at least 1 jet, possibly 2. The exact numbers are still disputed. But the fact that a Rafale was downed by a PL-15 fired from a JF-17, if confirmed, would be the most significant air combat result of the 21st century. Now here is where it gets dangerous. Both Pakistan and India are nuclear-armed states. Pakistan has approximately 160 to 170 nuclear warheads. India has slightly fewer, around 160. Both have ballistic missiles capable of reaching every city in the other country. Both have second strike capability. And both sides knew every decision made during those 96 hours carried nuclear risk. Pakistan publicly raised its alert level. India did not confirm, but satellite imagery showed unusual activity near India's nuclear installations. The world held its breath. The United States, China, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE all made urgent calls. Beijing, Pakistan's closest ally, was on the phone with Islamabad every few hours. Washington was pushing both sides toward de-escalation. 96 hours after the first missiles crossed the border, a ceasefire was announced. May 10th, 2025, brokered quietly, with American and Chinese involvement. Both sides declared victory. India said it had destroyed terrorist infrastructure and demonstrated its ability to strike deep inside Pakistan. Pakistan said it had successfully defended its territory, downed Indian aircraft, and demonstrated that any Indian aggression would be met with overwhelming force. Both statements were, in their own way, true. Operation Sindoor changed the strategic calculus in South Asia permanently. 4 things are now clear. First, Pakistan's Chinese-supplied weapons performed better than most Western analysts expected. The PL-15 changed the air combat equation. Second, India's Rafales, while advanced, were not invincible. The myth of Western air superiority in the subcontinent took a serious hit. Third, the world got a preview of what a full India-Pakistan war would look like. It would be devastating for both sides within days. Fourth, and most critically, the nuclear threshold held, but it came closer than anyone publicly admits. This is the question everyone asks. Honest answer: neither side won clearly. India demonstrated the will and capability to strike inside Pakistan. That matters for domestic politics. That matters for deterrence. But Pakistan demonstrated that India could not do so without cost. Significant cost. Aircraft downed. Radar stations destroyed. Strategic humiliation in the air. And both sides now face the same reality they faced before: a nuclear-armed neighbor that will not back down. The subcontinent is not more stable after Operation Sindoor. It is more tense, more volatile, and more dangerous than at any time since 1999. Operation Sindoor lasted 96 hours, but its consequences will shape South Asian security for decades. The missiles have gone quiet, for now, but the pilots are still flying, the warheads are still armed, and the next crisis, in Kashmir or anywhere along that border, will carry the memory of May 2025. This is the world's most dangerous neighborhood, and it just got more dangerous. If this documentary gave you a clearer picture of what really happened, subscribe to War and Military History, hit the bell, share this with someone who needs to understand what's happening in this region. We'll see you in the next one.